Hello, first grade. This is Mrs. Holly, and here is another great book. It is called Amazing Grace. It's by Mary Hoffman, and it's illustrated by Caroline Finch. The books that we've been reading in this series are about characters that are standing up for themselves. Remember Molly Lou Mellon and how she stands up for herself? And then there's, in The King of the Playground, Kevin, who is afraid at first, but in the end becomes friends with the person who is scaring him, Sammy. Let's see how Grace, in this book, her name is Grace, stands up for herself. Amazing Grace by Mary Hoffman. Grace was a girl who loved stories. She didn't mind if they were read to her or told to her or made up in her own head. She didn't care if they were from books or movies or out of Nana's long memory. Grace just loved stories. And after she had heard them, and sometimes while they were still going on, Grace would act them out, and she always gave herself the most exciting part. Grace went into battle as Joan of Arc and wove a wicked web as Anansi the spider. I like her 8 legs. She hid inside the wooden horse at the gates of Troy. She went exploring for lost kingdoms. She sailed the 7 seas with a peg leg and a parrot. She was Aladdin rubbing his magic lamp to make the genie appear, and Mowgli in the backyard jungle. Most of all, Grace loved to act out adventure stories and fairy tales. When there was no one else around, Grace played all the parts herself. She set out to seek her fortune with no companion but her trusty cat, and found a city with streets paved in gold. Sometimes she could get Ma and Nana to join in when they weren't too busy. Then she was Dr. Grace, and their lives were in her hands. Look, she's got Mom all bandaged up. She's using a spoon as her stethoscope there, seeing how her heart is. One day, Grace's teacher said they would do the play Peter Pan. Grace knew who she wanted to be. When she raised her hand, Raj said, "You can't be Peter. That's a boy's name." But Grace kept her hand in the air. "You can't be Peter Pan," whispered Natalie. "He isn't black." But Grace kept her hand up. Can you see Grace? Look, she is determined with her hand in the air. "All right," said the teacher. "Lots of you want to be Peter Pan, so we'll have to have auditions next week to choose parts." She gave them words to learn. When Grace got home, she seemed sad. "What's the matter?" asked Ma. "Raj said I couldn't be Peter Pan because I'm a girl." "That just shows what Raj knows," said Mom. "A girl can be a Peter Pan if she wants to." Grace cheered up. Then later she remembered something else. "Natalie says I can't be Peter Pan because I'm black," she said. Ma looked angry, but before she could speak, Nana said, "It seems Natalie is another one who don't know nothing. You could be anything you want, Grace, if you put your mind to it." On Saturday, Nana told Grace they were going out. In the afternoon, they caught a bus and a train into town. Nana took Grace to a grand theater. The sign outside read, Rosalie Wilkins in Romeo and Juliet, in sparkling lights. "Are we going to the ballet, Nana?" asked Grace. "We are, honey. But first I want you to look at this picture." Grace looked up and saw a beautiful young ballerina in a tutu. Above the dancer it said, "Stunning new Juliet." "That one is little Rosalie from back home in Trinidad," said Nana. "Her granny and me, we grew up together on the island. She's always asking me, do I want tickets to see her Rosalie dance? So this time I said yes." After the ballet, Grace played the part of Juliet, dancing around her room in her imaginary tutu. "I can be anything I want," she thought. On Monday, the class met for auditions to choose who was best for each part. When it was Grace's turn to be Peter, she knew exactly what to do and all the words to say. She had been Peter Pan all weekend. She took a deep breath and imagined herself flying. When it was time to vote, the class chose Raj to be Captain Hook and Natalie to be Wendy. There was no doubt who would be Peter Pan. Everyone voted for Grace. "You were fantastic," whispered Natalie. Oh, cool. The play was a big success, and Grace was an amazing Peter Pan. After it was all over, she said, "I feel as if I could fly all the way home." "You probably could," said Ma. "Yes," said Nana. "If Grace put her mind to it, she can do anything she wants." There she is. That's a lot about what it takes. What it takes most of the time to get something done is that determination. We use that word a lot at Cole. Being determined and practicing knowing what you need to do and loving it just like Grace did. She wanted that part. She knew what it took, and she was brave. She held her hand up. She tried out and was voted, and then she did her very best. I think you can too. You can do anything that you set your mind to do. Doesn't matter if there's someone that's trying to stop you, like the bully. It doesn't matter if you are small or don't have certain skills. You'll figure out how to make the most amazing things. You can do it. Standing up for yourself